Cheers! A short while ago, the channel passed 1,000 followers, or subscribers, as it's called on YouTube. That's something I would never even dream about when I started uploading the tinkering I do with old computers and emulators and, let's be honest, mostly Amiga. But here we are. I wasn't really prepared for what to do when something like this happened, because this is something big for me. And during this time, I've gotten a lot of good tips from you guys in the comments, corrections that have helped me preparing my systems. But most of all, some of you are coming back again and again, and slowly I feel like you're part of my friends. And that's what I enjoy most about making this. Samuelbanya asked in one of my latest videos if I've ever done a tour in my, I think he called it computer lab, or as I would call it, my studio. I've never done that. So I thought this would be the perfect time to do it. And I can show you the different part here, but this is only the first part of my setup where I do recordings. I also have another room that I will show you later in the video. So let's do a quick tour. This is the part of the room that I use when I pretend to know how to solder. This is my solder station and the tools I use the most. And here is where I place my laptop when checking if I have facts right, checking notes and stuff like that. On top here I have some things that I enjoy having around. It is boxes of software, and it's this old Norwegian Tandberg radio. And on the shelf below it I have my loved Amiga 1200. Or it could have been. It's only the outside of my 1200. Sadly, my 1200 is lost. I sent it for some help on some repairs, and it never showed up, and the tracking just stopped. So I've lost my trusty Amiga 1200. That sucks. This is the A600GS revision 6 Amiga 500 motherboard, which I'm working on. This is my old original one. It had some heavy damages from a leaking battery on the clock and RAM extension. This is the C64 with the companion Commodore 1084S. Down here is some of my trusty monitors with the Sony Trinitron multiscan, this neck multiscan 4x3 monitors, which I love, and this HP CRT monitor, which I use on used on my Amiga 1200. Down here is my collections of PCs. This is my old original one, which I had when I was around 19-20 years, something like that. It was my first Linux computer. The first one after I stopped using Amiga as my main operating system. And then there is this old IBMs, and this old general PCs. This one has a Intel Pentium Pro, which is quite cool. It's broken, but I I am going to fix it, hopefully for December. I want to show it then. It has SCSI and everything. So that is going to be quite fun. If we move a bit further on the way around the studio, here is some of my instruments. It is a Norwegian lur, which is the Norwegian smaller version of a, I think it's called alphorn, and my electric guitars, and a Miniac synthesizer. I use the guitars for my other hobby, which is making black metal. Here is my old trusty self-built arcade machine. It's just a PC running emulation station and various emulators. Nothing too fancy. If we continue around, here is my rack, where I have my sound card, the tape recorder, my amplifier, and this is the PC I use for recording audio and capturing from whatever I'm doing on my desk. If it is a real Omega, I'm using this OSSC upscaler, which is super. But I also have this pimped up Omega 500, which has an RTG to HDMI. And this is the desk you have probably seen a few times. And right now, at the desk, there is a Raspberry Pi 5. I'm going to have my first visit with this one, and there will be a video about just that in a few weeks. And that's it. We have seen everything around the room. But as I said in the beginning, I also have another room. It is more of my cozy place. That's where I have the computers I use on a daily basis. So let's go over there. This is the other half of my setup. This is my daily driver. It is a very simple Linux computer. Actually, at the moment I'm using the N100 mini computer, and it works perfectly well for my needs. I also have this one. This is the computer I make pixel graphics and try to do some Pro Tracker tracking with, and it's set up as a pure emulation and retro setup. It got personal paint, deluxe paint, everything I need in here. So I can quickly launch personal paint like this. I've made a separate video about the setup of this computer, and I've also made one about the Checkmate A1500 desktop case, which I love. And this is the other corner of my daily use row of computers. This is my Macintosh, where I do video editing and edit music and audio and stuff like that. And this is my in-house lab. At the moment I am struggling with my DE10 Nano. So that's what's on the desk now, as well as an old PC. But once again, thanks a lot for using your time to watch my videos, and more importantly, those of you that give me those comments and feedbacks. It means the world to me. It's become a very precious part of my hobby, to reading your comments and suggestions, and yes, as I said in the beginning, slowly become a part of the people that I would call my friends. Cheers! I hope you have a wonderful evening.